Welcome to Symplicity Conversations, the podcast where business, culture, and community come together to inspire and empower. I'm your host, Catherine Ripley. Each week, we'll explore meaningful conversations about how today's business landscape is shaped by innovation, relationships, and the people behind the progress. From actionable insights and stories from industry leaders to topics like customer experience, fostering strong business relationships, and the role of automation, we've got you covered. Whether you're an entrepreneur navigating growth, a leader focused on building lasting connections, or someone interested in how culture and community drive success, Symplicity Conversations is here to guide you. If you're ready to turn challenges into opportunities and make meaningful strides in your business and community, subscribe now and join the conversation. Get ready to simplify complexity and make an impact with Symplicity Conversations. Welcome to Symplicity Conversations, where we delve into the stories and strategies driving success in business and technology. Today, we're joined by our government contracting team. I'm super excited to introduce you to them. Victor Zuniga, our Senior Vice President, Ben Murray, our Vice President of Government Contracting, and Carla Skuhrovec, our Government Contracting Administrator. But technically, she's the rock star. We all report to her. We'll explore their journey, insights on government contracting, and the vision for Symplicity's role in the public sector. First, let's go ahead and dive into Symplicity Insights. It's our famous quote of the day. The most effective way to do it is to do it, by Amelia Earhart. And I think this is so applicable to our government contracting team because Victor and I started this government contracting journey a couple of years ago. And we did a lot of the items of getting certifications and our credibility statements. But this year, we made the decision to expand our team. And so last June, we ended up finding Ben and Carla and bringing them on. And boy, have they put the pedal to the metal on the government contracting opportunities. So subscribe to Symplicity Communications to hear from leaders shaping the future of the industries, especially in our government contracting area. So with that, Victor, what sparked your journey into government contracting? Tell us a little bit about your background of government work.
Sure. So I retired from the Marine Corps after 21 years and a few months of service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for being worth it. Once I retired, I was looking for a place to land. Luckily, I knew Catherine, who was at my retirement ceremony, and she offered me a job. And when I started at Symplicity, I started with billing and some project management, moved into sales. And while I was in sales, Catherine wanted to open up this market of government contracting. So she asked me if I would take that on, seeing how I navigated some red tape while I was in the Marine Corps.
To be fair, I don't think I really understood what government contracting was at that point. It was kind of full ignorance's bliss as we dove into that.
Well, honestly, the 2 years that I was doing it by myself, I did submit quite a few bids. We got close on a couple of things. And then we brought Ben and Carla on, and that really showed me how much I didn't know about government contracting. So, bringing them on was a really good idea for everyone involved.
Yeah, I totally agree. Ben, let's hear your background. How did you get into government contracting?
I was in production print for a large number of years as an individual contributor. And my family moved into the DC area. And when I came down here, I realized just everything is government. Everybody I talk to is working in government in some way, shape, or form. And so it really sparked my interest. I really love to solve problems and work with people through complex solutions. And there's nothing more complicated than the federal government. So it just seemed to be a really solid fit.
I think that's a fair statement.
I've worked at a number of organizations, software and hardware, and really focusing on creating teams that drive success inside the federal space. And so it's been a really nice journey. And I've been in the DC area now for almost 15 years. And I'm still as passionate about it today as I have been when I first started.
Very cool. And Carla, anytime I'm on a meeting with you, I feel like I'm in awe of your navigating these and understanding. You really talk a different language sometimes. I feel like I don't think I've learned that language. But tell me a little bit about your background and how you connected.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of my career has involved the government in some capacity. So it varied in terms of auditing and legal compliance. And the actual shift to procurement came. I had a really good friend of mine who is a retired Navy chief. And he was like, you have these skills and it's kind of like a unicorn thing. People usually aren't good at compliance and regulation and sales. And he's like, I think you'd be a really good fit for this, and kind of just organically moved me into procurement. So, and I've been there ever since.
Okay, so guys, we really need to add to Carla's business card. She has a particular set of skills.
That's very true.
I've actually seen her use that.
Yeah.
She can actually hunt people down.
Oh, yeah. It's cool to watch you guys work. So, Victor, we've known each other a really long time. I always like to joke Victor and say I've known him when he had hair before he went into the Marines, but watching him navigate that career and land at Symplicity, and, he did do a number of different roles, but having you start this government contracting team and then see what we have on tap for 2025 and, the things that we're going to be navigating, it's so exciting. And, who would have guessed, way back in our mid-20s, and now it's a long way from that point. But here we are creating something pretty magical, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Going back to when we first met, I often joke when I tell the story, like even when I was in the Marine Corps, I met you when you were a waitress in a cocktail bar. So
That's right. That's
you know,
right.
like
Yeah.
for anybody that doesn't get the reference, it's a song.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and, we talk about chapters in our lives. I was a struggling college student, single mom, non-traditional student. You and another friend, we were three musketeers trying to figure out how to, raise these two humans and, get ourselves through our career, and, to watch you, kind of go through your journey and then join the Marines. I was so proud of you making that step, because you were just you are a Marine. You were born
I
to do
did go to
that.
boot camp.
Yeah, yeah. But you were born to do that. I mean, you were non-traditional as well. You didn't go when you were 18. You went later, on the later end of joining.
Sure. Like I was quite a bit older. When I joined the Marine Corps, I wasn't your typical 18-year-old. And I feel that now, after 20 years of service, the body hurts a lot
Yeah.
more than it should. But it's a typical story for anybody. When I went to the Marine Corps, and I think it was like 2007,
Mhm.
right? After 9/11, we kind of lost contact for a little bit.
Mhm.
When we reconnected, you told me that you'd started this company and you were building something. But since that time of our reconnection, you kind of like joked that like, hey, when you retire, you're going to come work for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I retired and I came and worked for you. So it was
Get stuff done.
Yeah.
Make stuff happen.
apparently you put something in the universe.
I do. I believe in that. Put it out there if you want something. And I think it's important for listeners to understand you never know where things are going to go. But Carla and I believe this, that you put intention out there, you put your desires out there, and, the universe is listening. And, that's what I've seen. Even when we sat there and said, okay, let's start this government contracting, division, we didn't know what that really meant. And that's okay. It's okay to hire people smarter than you that know how to navigate this. We did what we could the first, 2 years, but now the things that we're doing are just amazing. And I think the connections that happen in our careers and our personal lives, you never know where those intersections happen. And in fact, bringing how Ben and I got connected, I was actually in Costa Rica with NITEL, one of our service providers. And I was sitting down with Jim Glacken, and I said, hey, Jim, do you know anybody? Victor and I, we're doing this government stuff and we're responding to RFPs, but, we're really not good at it. It's not our forte. So I really want to find somebody that can help us respond to RFPs better. So I thought I was looking for some kind of marketing person. And he said, let me connect you with Ben Murray. I don't know him well, but we connected on LinkedIn, and then, see if there's anything there. Well, I ended up scheduling a meeting with Ben. I reached out and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, let's have this conversation. And after 10 minutes, I said, Ben, hold on. We need to have a conversation with Vic, because I felt this like, there's something here. And I wanted to bring you into that conversation. So our first conversation was about 10 minutes. And then we had a conversation, a few days later. And then I said, okay, guys, go talk and see if there's something to this. And then he brought out the big guns. Then he said, you guys need to meet Carla. Right. So we had this like serendipitous thing that happened where had I not said, by the way, Jim, I'm looking for this, we wouldn't have Ben and Carla here. And Ben and Carla have worked together for a number of years. And he's like, yeah, I can come, but I really need Carla to come with me because she's the secret sauce in all of this. And so it's been amazing. We're about 9-10 months into this journey where we've had the three of you guys on this team developing, our government contracting division. And your backgrounds are so different, but there's so much opportunity in what we're going to be doing. So I always take a moment to go, wow, what if I hadn't asked Jim that? I wouldn't have gotten connected with Ben. It's really important, for people to make sure that they have a voice, ask, right? Make sure you share with people, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Do you know anybody? Right? Because that's what this whole division is created on. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that you asked Jim that question.
Me too. Me too.
So are we.
Like,
yeah.
well, I mean, just the things that they bring to the table, right? Ben's connections and Carla's knowledge of contracting vehicles, right? So like before they joined the team, I had no idea what a contracting vehicle was. I've been on some webinars that would talk about, different things, but I had no idea how to get started on that. And really Ben and Carla brought that in and were like, actually, when they first started, I remember we were having a call and like we were scheduling the week out for meetings and Carla was like, nope, I can't join you guys because like there's a soup industry day and she's going to go to that instead of talk to us. So all right.
She's got her priorities right.
You go do that.
Absolutely.
So a fun one to start, I think. What's the most unexpected thing you've learned about government contracting? And I'll start with you, Carla.
Yeah. So, gosh, there's so much, right, that people on the outside just don't know. The most common misconception, honestly, is that the public sector, they identify a need and they throw an RFP or an RFQ out there into the universe. And then whoever could potentially, meet the scope of work just answers it. And it's just, there's no strategy behind it. And I think that once you kind of get into it, you're like, oh, wow, there's a whole web of structure behind this. And there's a lot of still networking and relationship building and people that are still behind government contracting. It's not all just paperwork. So I think that was probably the biggest thing that I learned that was really unexpected, as you thought it's just all this really rigid process. And it's really not, and then I think the next biggest thing would be the amount of effort that goes into all the different components of, selling into the public sector. So an opportunity could take years to develop. It could take, a really long time. So from the time that we see something hypothetically on sam.gov or, somebody just interjecting themselves into the space sees an opportunity, that could have been, 5 years in the making to get to that point. So I think those were the biggest things for me that were kind of unexpected coming into it.
So Ben, what excites you about being part of the Symplicity team? It was the catalyst that said, yeah, I've got to do this.
Meeting you, Catherine, to be very frank, I've been in corporate America for a very long time, and you feel like just another cog in the wheel. You have all these great ideas and you want to make some impact and you want to do the right things and you see where things need to change. Our first conversation, like you were talking about, we started talking, you were looking for a proposal writer to help you get this stuff. And we started digging in and then you're like, wait a minute. And I'm like, oh, I guess I ruined this. And it's like, no, we need to talk to Victor. We've got to have some more dialogue. And just having those conversations and then having the opportunity to come out and meet the team and just seeing how dynamic this team actually is and how everybody is willing to go the extra mile and put the customer first. And that's what I heard loud and clear from you is the customer is the most important part of this journey. And without them and their desires and their needs, we're here to make sure we put the customer first in everything that we do. And if we do that, the revenue will come, the additional business will come, but it's all about putting that customer first. And when I got that from you, I was all in.
Carla, that must have been an interesting phone call for Ben to call you and say, Carla, I know you're in a position. you've got a job, but I need you to leave that job and go to this small business. That must have been like, Ben, are you
It was
crazy?
absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those, obviously unknowns. I don't know anything about this space. I don't know anything about this company. And, I have all this knowledge and, stuff that I can bring to the table from this space itself. But it was kind of scary not knowing anything. And I mean, within the first 10 minutes of conversation, I was like, oh yeah, this is a place that I really think that I belong. Like you said, I wholeheartedly believe everything happens for a reason,
Mhm.
good, bad, and different. So, and yeah, the customer experience, the preservation of that's super important. But the thing that really stuck out to me is that, you care. Yeah, the emphasis is on the customer experience, but there's also a really, strong emphasis on the employee experience too. And that's absolutely someplace where, I felt like I belonged and I wanted to grow.
Yeah, it's really important for me to add value, whether it's adding value to my employees' lives or our clients' lives. At the end of the day, we're just there to make things easier, to make things better, empower each other. And Victor, you leading these amazing individuals, leading the government contracting team. What does that mean for you?
I guess you just got me to a point where I was speechless. No, honestly, like it's really awesome. Just being able to like enable them to do what they have to bring in revenue or business, and honestly, it doesn't take a lot, right? Like we have conversations where we build targets and
Right.
then we just go for or
Do it.
go.
Just do it, right?
We can't say that. That's copyrighted.
Oops.
So
Just go for it.
but yeah, I mean, it essentially like, I give like, there's a direction that we're going and then they just take off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just go with little, no supervision. Like they come back every once in a while and say, hey, can we really do this? And it's a yes or a no from me. And I think that that's like right now, I've heard you say it or for a long time. It takes about a year to get comfortable in this space to actually know the technology. So they're about 4 or 5 months from being like completely comfortable with what we're selling, and then like I imagine it'll be like, okay, how much do you want this year?
Yeah.
And then like they'll just go and do it.
Well, both you guys were in a very transactional where it was how many do you want? What's the quantity? And get a price and transactional. Whereas our business is very diverse, voice, data, cloud. Some things are licenses, some things it's a circuit on a contract. It's a much different world. So Ben, share a little bit about, your playbook for navigating, just the complexities of, both the federal market and the SLED market.
Yeah, it's really important to understand contract vehicles are important, but what we really have learned is some of the customers don't understand the way to get something from point A to point B, meaning we have a need and we need to find a way to get that purchase through the federal government or the state government. And that's what having Carla and myself on the team, but especially Carla with her deep knowledge of federal contracting and state and local, we can help them navigate those waters very effectively. But it all starts with a conversation. As much as the paperwork's important, we need to understand what our customers need and what they want, what that journey needs to look like, and then help them along the way to get from point A to point B. And that's really where our skill set comes in. The ability to have such a breadth of offerings really is nice because in some situations in my past, we only had a very limited scope of things that we could help a customer with. And so when we built the relationship and helped them, they wanted to continue because of the work that we've done and the strength that we have in that relationship and all the good things that we've done for them in the past, but we were unable to do that. Here, it's nice because we can build that bridge. We can help them understand how to fix that first technology challenge that they have. And then once we've done that, we can help them and continue that partnership. And so
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting about being in this space because we have so much that we can offer.
Can you kind of go over like when do you think is the best time to engage in those conversations? Is like when the RP comes out or?
No, we need to help the customer understand. We need to help them structure that because part of creating a statement of work that goes into an RFP is making sure that they get what they're required. If a statement of work is written very broadly, then a lot of different players can come in and give you something that meets the requirements and win on best price, but it does not end up fulfilling your mission. So we need to be there at the beginning to help them understand, okay, this is the challenge that you have, regardless of what it is. Let's make sure that we design that statement of work. So regardless of what procurement vehicle it goes out on, you're able to get a product that meets or exceeds your needs. So we need to be there in the beginning to help them and to leverage the knowledge and the expertise that we have that Catherine's built along the way.
I think it's having such a diverse product portfolio that we can go into security, we can go into voice and customer experience, and automation is going to be huge. And the language is different for federal versus state and local, and then educational for sure. So Carla, question for you. What unique opportunities or trends do you think Symplicity needs to tap in over the next few years?
Yeah, so I think, like you just said, right, AI and automation are going to be key. That stuff that's rapidly advancing. The government's a little bit behind the ball on that versus corporate America. So that's one of those things that's really high on their agenda to start implementing kind of across the board. I would say sustainability, greenback initiatives, like there's actual legislation right now, executive orders that are kind of driving the procurement of that kind of stuff. And I don't necessarily just mean like an energy efficient product, but I mean like clean and sustainable supply chains. So, continuously aligning ourselves with people who can kind of meet those requirements is going to be pretty critical. I would say the last one would probably be IT modernization and expansion. So that's a huge priority for the public sector. Things like, think like migrating to the cloud, updating legacy systems. They all want, 5G technology, that kind of thing. Those are all going to be driving factors as they do like budgetary allocations this fiscal year. So that is all stuff at the core of what we do. So being able to offer tailored, scalable, and affordable, a lot of what the government drives the government is price. So by doing that, that's going to just continuously help us grow and help our clients succeed.
I think it's really important to help the government get off some of the premise solutions that are holding them back. Cloud solutions like UCaaS solutions or phone systems or contact centers. The cloud solutions are so much more flexible. They can be easily transformed versus the premise solution. So they think that you're right, that they're running behind a little bit on that. When they do start catching up, they're going to go crazy quickly.
You and I had conversations about like, hey, they just don't know. This is actually so much more expensive for them to be running this solution. And it's like, they just don't know because they've never changed it or they don't have someone there to educate them. So I think that's definitely part of our initiative, is making sure that they know that we know that, hey, we can offer a better solution for you that's going to be cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Symplicity, we have a unique offering. And I know you've been working really hard on the different initiatives that we're working on. So we've gotten some certifications. One of the first things that Victor did back in 2021 was help me get the Women Business Enterprise certification, which that's a must, for working with the government. But recently, we got our WOSB, so Woman-Owned Small Business Certification. What else are we working on with the certifications? Carlin, what do you think is important for us to have to set us apart from others?
Sure. Yeah. So we're currently pending a response on our 8A certification through the SBA, as well as our EDWOSB and WOSB from the SBA. So that is hopefully going to come through within the next, hopefully 30 days or so. So really exciting there. That's going to be a huge driving differentiator for us. And for anybody who doesn't know, the 8A program is a kind of a step up program. It's a mentor program that allows small business to grow pretty rapidly in the federal space. And there's certain funds that are set aside specifically for those companies so that there's not a lot of, quote, fair and open competition on them. So that's going to be a really big step for us once those are approved.
Game changer, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely life-changing, yeah.
So government contracting is just famously complex. What are the hurdles, now that we've kind of gotten through some certifications and we've got some, streamlined capability statements created? What hurdles do you see over the next, 6 months? How are you guys managing those hurdles?
So this is just my cup of tea, but obviously like navigating regulatory compliance is huge. That's a hurdle for anybody operating in this space. So staying educated, staying ahead of that curve is going to be critical for us to keep pace this year and beyond. And the other things I would say would be probably managing our competition, right? So it's a highly competitive vertical. There's small businesses that inject themselves into the public sector every single day. And, once we think, okay, we've conquered competitor A, competitor B is going to be right there on our tail. So we have to really focus and highlight on our differentiators and not just being a pass-through contractor and really ensuring a positive customer experience from start to finish. So, above and beyond that, I would say keeping up with evolving needs. Technology is a rapidly advancing, space, and things are constantly changing. So the real difference, I would say, with the government versus the private sector in terms of, defining what those needs are dictated by would be that, in our space, it's really things that are not always under our control, like political climate, legislation, sustainability initiatives, economic conditions. So by staying ahead of those trends, those, pieces, and understanding market analysis and constantly training on the tech that we sell, monitoring, updating life cycles, I think that's all going to help us to kind of jump these hurdles as they come through. And these are not, I don't think, unique to us. It's just part of playing in the space.
And isn't marketing really important in terms of marketing out to the audience and the personas that we need to speak to, but also just networking and connecting with people so that they are aware of our capabilities?
Yeah.
So
So
important
Ben,
in this space specifically, Catherine,
Yeah.
because in the federal space, they don't have a lot of travel budget, right? They don't
Mhm.
get out there. So that's why I'm so excited about this podcast in particular, is we can get that information out to our customers. And so that is one of our hurdles, is we've got to be able to get that message out there, let them understand what a unique opportunity it is to work with Symplicity, what things that we have in this technology space that can really transform their business. And so tools like this, tools like our marketing, we're very active on LinkedIn, and you'll see more of that as we dig into this and as we develop those relationships. And then partnering with other resellers in this space. There's a lot of things that we can do, but there's some things that we can't do. And so building
Mhm.
relationships with other resellers to make sure that we're offering solutions to the federal and state and local customers to meet their needs. So one of the hurdles is just getting that message out there. And that's why I'm so excited about this and many other things that we're implementing in the marketing space.
No doubt.
So,
I'm thrilled
like,
too.
one of the other things that I think is important, just kind of building off of what they both said, right? Ben and Carla, like Simplicity's history, right? Like
Mhm.
it's about building past performance, right? Making sure that like those people that we're servicing understand like your business model,
Mhm.
the reputation that like we are going to build, right? And
Mhm.
that goes to like we're a partner, not just a vendor.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's really
and
important.
like
Even
once that gets out there, like everybody will start
paying attention.
booking time on my calendar.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's the power of partnerships, and I think that's what I've witnessed over this last year of you three bring different perspectives and we can prioritize where we put our efforts. And, so there's just a process to go through. It's been pretty cool to watch you guys evolve. And let's talk about the power of those partnerships. Government really thrives on that collaboration. What's our strategy for building that trust and relationship with decision makers in, Fed-SLED area?
Yeah. Bottom line is consistency. We need to show up time and time again. We need to be in front of the customers and making sure they understand we're here for them, not in the short term, not just for the sale, but we're here. And that word is used a lot, partnership, but it's
Mhm.
truly important. We need to partner with our customers, listen to them, understand what their challenges are, and then bring the proper solutions to them and then help them navigate with Carla's help, the rigorous procurement process.
Mhm.
It's daunting. And internally, a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
And we're very lucky to have somebody with Carla's expertise on the team to
Mhm.
make sure that we're giving the customer what their needs. We're building out a solution that can be procured. There's a lot of
Mhm.
solutions out there, but in this space, there are regulations like FedRAMP, for example. There's
Mhm.
things that you need to have in order to make sure that you can launch something within the federal government. So we need to have that expertise, which we have. We need to understand their mission. Does what we're putting in front of them meet the requirements that they
Mhm.
have? Will it put exit barriers in front of them? We don't want to have that where they buy into a technology and then their mission changes in 3 to 6 months and that technology is no longer allowing them to grow the way they need to. And then we need to follow through. And, they want a partner that can be reliable in there, and that's what we need to be. And then continue that relationship as we move forward so that they know that not only are we there for them then, but what other things can we do to make their mission a success?
Yeah, very true. So you guys each bring very unique expertise to the table. What do you think makes you guys work so effectively together? And I'll throw that out to anyone.
I think that really we all have different backgrounds. We all have different things that we're doing every day, but we all also share, I think, a really strong, mutually aligned goal and driven purpose. So all of our efforts, even though they're focused on different things, they're all going for the same purpose. Wouldn't you say, Victor? I think that that's probably the biggest driving force.
No, absolutely. Just to add to that, like we speak very plainly to each other. If there's something that needs to be accomplished, it doesn't matter like who's saying it, right? Something needs to be accomplished. Usually it's Carla saying, do this.
Do something, Victor, Ben, or Catherine.
Yeah. I believe there was some time booked on your calendar yesterday.
Yeah, there was. And I got it done after a really long procrastination issue. But yes, it's done.
So, and I think that like kind of adds to the dynamic, right? Like we don't get caught up in titles or who's reporting to who. Like there's a job to get done and we just do it.
And we all know we report to Carla. No, I think it's important, as you have listeners, no matter what role they're in, to understand your contribution and your value and making sure you're bringing value and not just focused on what's in it for you. I think that that's what I see very, plainly from you guys is you're really supportive of each other. You're asking, how can I help? And then we put an aggressive plan in front of you of what we wanted to do, and you guys are meeting those milestones. So having those goals are important. And I think it's also understanding not just your goals, but the overall goals of the company, knowing that what you're doing will make an impact on the operations team and the commercial side of the sales team. I think making sure you're stepping back and seeing what you're doing as part of the puzzle is key. And I would encourage listeners to think about that. And, if you're in a situation where you don't have this awesome relationship, you have the power to change that. What do you need to do to change that? I'd love to hear if you have an example of a recent project that kind of showcases that strength of the team.
Yeah, so I'm happy to dive into that one. Like we've had some really great wins so far. In this space, we have current clients that are in charter schools, higher ed, and on the local government side, we just had a really good win. I guess it was a while ago now, but that was a really great collaborative effort between not only us within the government team, but also our operations team, and they were incredibly thrilled at the way everything, went and the way that everything was implemented and rolled out ahead of schedule. So that, yes, the past performance is really important to have. And it's important to add to our books that, hey, we have clients in these spaces, but it's equally, if not more important for them to be highly satisfied with the job that we do. And I think that particular county was a really great example of how we all came together and really made it happen for the customer.
Great. I love that, especially, having some past performance with them and having them come back and say, this project went really well, just makes my heart proud. Yeah, it's super exciting. Ben, do you or Victor have anything to add to that one?
Well, success story. Our true success story is how quickly we've gelled as a team, quite frankly. The mutual respect and trust that we built between the three of us is outstanding. It just feels like we've worked together for years. And it's comfortable to be here. We all know what's expected of us, and we all deliver knowing full well that what we do every day is impacting not only ourselves, but to your point, the rest of the organization. And so, yeah, that's been the thing I'm most proud of is just how quickly we've gelled and are driving to achieve the goals that you've put in front of us.
So Ben, what motivates you to work in such a challenging field of especially federal government contracting?
It's so fun. It really is. I know that may sound silly, but you got to have something that you want to wake up to every day. And this is absolutely it. Going out there and helping customers who, if you have all the money in the world and you're able to buy anything you want, it's pretty easy to go out there and find something. But the federal and state and local is very challenging in terms of how you procure things. And so to have that knowledge and be able to share it and say, I understand what your challenge is. I have the wherewithal to help you fix it. Let's put a plan together and help you move forward. And some of these are very complex solutions that
Mhm.
take, to Carla's point earlier, a year to put them together. And so it's not like you said, our experience is from transactional in the last part of our career, but this allows us to create an absolutely solution sell. And that's what's really exciting about what we do every day.
Well, complex sales require a lot of simplicity.
Absolutely. Can I just build on that
Yeah.
real quick, Catherine,
Yeah,
just because I
please.
think that this is something that listeners may appreciate. So part of my motivation, and it's something that people don't really put together, right? They don't think about it. But the biggest thing for me, I think, is the impact of the work that we do. So, when you sell to corporate clients or, I think that there's still a level of reward and contribution. But these initiatives that we are, part of, developing solutions for, they support things like our national security, our defense, the men and women that protect our country every single day, enabling access to education, enhancing public safety. Like there's a huge impact in what we do, and it ultimately affects, to some capacity, all Americans. And I think that's really important for me.
That's awesome. You know, absolutely. Just listening to that, I've got my family background is a lot of people have served and, having Victor and his service, I don't think they don't make near enough, money that they should. And they're just not appreciated. And so I love hearing that. Thank you for that, Carla. Victor, I'd really love to hear about your personal aspirations for this team over the next year. What are you looking to see
So
besides sales, right?
aside from sales this year. So this year, like, I'm really excited. We have a couple of really big things coming up. I would like to see, once those things start coming to fruition, to
When?
grow the team
When?
out.
When those things, right?
Yeah.
Carla's teaching us. It's not if, it's when they happen.
Did I say if?
No, you did not. You
I
said
didn't think I said if. So when all that stuff happens, like just building out the team, bringing in some people that can help with the contracting vehicles to make sure that we're still in compliance, that we are managing those things correctly, that we can actually support the things that we sell, right?
Right.
So going back to what I said earlier about being a partner, not just a vendor will sell something. A partner helps support it. So, and that's how you built Symplicity. So I don't think that just because we're on the government side that we should stop supporting the products that we sell.
Yeah, I love that. I think one of the things that'll be a milestone for you and I personally this year is in our new office building. There is a mezzanine level that we've got our eye on for the government contracting team.
I can't wait to move up there.
Yes. So that's going to be a big milestone when we reach some of the goals that we've set, where it's time to say, all right, we can lease that space and grow into that. And just, you've got 3 people on your team now. What's your hope for the end of the year? How many people that you will be having on your team? What's the number?
Like conservatively,
Okay.
right?
I'll
So,
let you have it conservative. Right?
so I'm going to I'm thinking about 3 to 4 more people on the contracting side, and then another 2 to 3 in sales. So we
Okay.
can aggressively pursue both avenues, right? So the contracting side, and Carla has kind of educated me a little bit, right? Those contract vehicles allow the sales side to leverage all of that stuff. And Ben and Carla can probably talk about it a little bit more than I can.
For sure.
Or make it sound smarter, but Ben can leverage those contract vehicles, get in at that
Yeah.
level where, he's actually helping them write
Right.
an RFP or an RFQ, so proactively making them aware of what they need.
So 3 people right now at the beginning of the year and 10 people at the end of the year. That's fantastic growth for the company.
Sure.
We've been, this last year we've gone through, pretty major growth. So that's exciting to have those kind of aspirations. You said it, you can't take it back now.
So does that mean we're doing this at the end of the year again, just to see where
That's
we're
right.
at.
That's right. That's the date. All right. So, Carla, what advice would you give to someone just entering the world of government contracting?
Oh, geez. Probably the biggest thing, honestly, would be learn the lingo. That was something that was kind of daunting initially. It was like, oh my gosh, there's all these different acronyms and all this different terminology. And I mean, it's really critical to learn what all of them mean. So it was kind of funny when I first started, I made a document and I started just jotting them all down and keeping track of them. So I could reference it. But above and beyond just being knowledgeable, I think that anybody in the public sector, they appreciate when you can speak their language. And if you're aware of how they operate and use terminology that they're comfortable with and that they're, used to using it, it in turn also kind of, builds credibility. So if you have access to a mentor, I would say absolutely use them. If you don't, your local Apex accelerators, they have an awesome wealth of information and training, and 99.9% of it is all free. So anybody coming in, that's definitely where I would tell you to start.
We did have an
Yeah.
amazing Apex accelerator, Eleanor.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully Victor will provide this podcast to you because you are a rock star as well. So love that. So for listeners intrigued by this new area of government contracting at Symplicity, what's the best way to learn a little bit more, engage with you guys?
Through LinkedIn, we're always there. Our website has a tremendous amount of information, and we have a lot of white papers, a lot of information on our website. But pretty much LinkedIn or just our emails is a quick and easy way. Our website has all of our contact information, and we're really interested to talk to you and see what we can do to help achieve your goals.
Great. And so that's simplicitycom.com with a Y. So go out and check out the government contracting team. And guys, I'm really excited about what's happening here in 2025 and what we're doing and the opportunities that you guys are bringing to the table. And I most importantly love watching and getting to know you guys and your personalities. And I'm really proud of what we're doing here at Symplicity. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Catherine.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for joining us on Symplicity Conversations. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and visit us at thesimplepodcast.com to connect and innovate with the Symplicity team. See you next time.